Good morning, fellow churchgoers. I'm Taylor Patterson, and I come to you from Laguna Beach, California, 2 days earlier before you see this. I'm sorry I can't be there to discuss how awesome and rewarding it was to go to Dallas with Drew and Carrie and the elite group of the youth kids. But I would like to talk to you guys about, in this video, how awesome it was. One of the things I liked best was reading with the children in the Project Transformation group. I remember one of the quirky things was there was this girl, Lily, and I got to read with her for the 3 days we were there. So I got to hear the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And by coincidence, the main characters of the story were named David, Kevin, and Jeff. So that was memorable. Also, another kid I read with was Pablo, and I remember seeing him and turning to somebody and saying, I'm going to adopt that child, because he's so cute. That's not creepy, is it, that I want to adopt him upon seeing him? I don't think so. Well, whatever. But he was super adorable and really shy and quiet. And I remember the first day that I read with him, he didn't want to read any big books. He only wanted to read like the small, like not even Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss he thought was too big for him. But when we would go back to the library to get new books, he was always looking at the Rugrats chapter books. And I said, oh, well, we should try a chapter book. And finally, on the second day that I got to read with him, which was also our last day, by the way, I convinced him to pick up the chapter book. So he was reading, and he was so proud that he was reading a chapter book. So we read the first 2 chapters, and then it was time to go. It was our last day. And he said, oh, well, when you come back tomorrow, we can read the 3rd chapter. I said, oh, Pablo, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. And he said, oh, well, when you come back on Monday, we can read the next chapter. I was just like, oh, no, Pablo, I'm so sorry. It made me really sad. It was just nice to see how talking or reading with kids for just half an hour for only 2 days that I got to read with him, he had such an impact on my life, and I hope I at least was stuck in his memory a little bit where he wanted to see me later. It was just nice to know that by doing something that small, you can make a little bit of a difference in their lives. But the best part of the whole experience was living with the peers in our youth group, and it was just because we all know each other, but none of us are super tight, not all together before this experience at least. But it was nice to know that all of the kids in our youth group who went with us at least are just as curious and just as dedicated to getting closer to God as I am, and we're all in this process. We're all going through this journey, just growing up and asking the hard questions, like Jessica Brink. In a random coincidence, when we all got together in the room, Jessica Brink sat there and asked the hard questions to Drew and to Carrie, and it was just cool to but go through the topics and what we're all interested in. So I definitely think the best part was getting together with a group of kids who have the same views as I do, and just coming together in God's grace and trying to do what we can do to help other people. And I'm pretty sure that somebody else must have talked about this or planned on talking about it, because I know it was probably the most memorable thing for me. But I remember we were painting somebody's house, and another lady comes along walking, and she's talking to us for a little bit, and she says to us, which will always stick in my head, and now I can't remember it. I wrote it down. Okay, there it is. She says, you can always tell God's people by the work on their hands and the shine on their faces. And I think that's something that will stick with me and motivate me as I keep going on through this journey and keep trying to get closer to God. So thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your morning.